Sweet Salone, more than just a pretty name. Yo everybody, let's talk Sierra Leone, a country on the west coast of Africa. It's got beaches, diamonds, and a history that's more dramatic than a reality TV show. Trust me, you're gonna want to hear this. Now, Sierra Leone is known for its chill vibes, but don't let that fool you. This place has seen it all. We're talking centuries of history, from ancient tribes to European colonizers, and everything in between. Buckle up, because we're going on a wild ride. We'll dive into the good, the bad, and the just plain ugly. But through it all, the spirit of Sierra Leone shines through. It's a story of resilience, hope, and the enduring power of the human spirit. So grab your jollof rice, find a comfy spot, and let's get into it. The OG Sierra Leoneans, before the boats arrived. Long before any Europeans showed up, Sierra Leone was buzzing with life. We're talking diverse indigenous groups, each with their own language, culture, and swag. Think of it like a real-life Wakanda, but with less vibranium and more palm wine. You had the Mende people, the Temne people, the Limba people, the list goes on. They were farmers, traders, artists, you name it. These guys were living their best lives, trading stories around the fire and probably wondering what those weird white birds in the sky were. Little did they know, these communities weren't perfect, of course. They had their differences, their squabbles, maybe even the occasional spear thrown in anger. But hey, who hasn't been there? The point is, Sierra Leone was a melting pot of cultures long before the world started using that term. It was a place of rich traditions, strong communities, and a deep connection to the land. And then, well, things got complicated. Ships, spices, and something not so nice. Cue the ominous music, folks, because in the 15th century those weird white birds turned out to be Portuguese ships. And they weren't here for a friendly visit. They were looking for spices, gold, and unfortunately, something far more sinister, human beings. The transatlantic slave trade was a dark chapter in human history, and Sierra Leone became a major hub for this horrific trade. Europeans, blinded by greed and a whole lot of messed up ideas, started shipping Africans across the ocean to work as slaves. Families were torn apart, lives were destroyed, and a whole continent was left reeling from the trauma. It's a tough subject to talk about, but it's essential to understanding Sierra Leone's story. The slave trade left an indelible mark on the country, shaping its demographics, its economy, and its very identity. But even in the face of such darkness, the spirit of the Sierra Leonean people endured. They fought back, they held on to their culture, and they never gave up hope for a better future. Section 4. Under the Queen's Thumb, Life in Colonial Sierra Leone. Fast forward a few centuries, and the slave trade is finally abolished. But don't get too excited, because now comes colonialism. The British, with their tea and their stiff upper lips, decided that Sierra Leone would make a nice addition to their empire. And so began a whole new chapter of complicated history. Now, let's be real, colonialism wasn't exactly a picnic. The British brought their own ideas about how things should be run, and let's just say they weren't exactly asking for permission. They exploited the land, imposed their own laws, and generally acted like they owned the place, which technically they did. But amidst the injustice, there were glimmers of progress. The British built schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. And while their motives were often self-serving, these developments did have a lasting impact on Sierra Leone. Still, it was clear that the people yearned for something more. They wanted the freedom to govern themselves, to shape their own destiny. And that brings us to another plot twist. This time a particularly brutal one. and for finding hope in the face of unimaginable loss. Section 7. Sierra Leone today, scars and sunshine. So, where does that leave Sierra Leone today? Well, it's a country still grappling with the legacy of its past. The scars of war are visible both physically and emotionally. Poverty, corruption, and inequality remain major challenges. But amidst the struggles, there's a palpable sense of hope, a determination to build a brighter future. Sierra Leone is a country on the move. Its economy is growing, its democracy is strengthening, and its people are working hard to create a better tomorrow. There's a vibrancy here, a resilience that's truly inspiring. From the bustling streets of Freetown to the tranquil beaches of Tokay, there's a sense that Sierra Leone is finally coming into its own. The journey hasn't been easy, and there are sure to be more bumps along the way, but the spirit of Sierra Leone endures. It's a spirit of resilience, of hope, and of an unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit to overcome even the most daunting challenges. So the next time you hear the name Sierra Leone, remember this: it's more than just a country on a map. It's a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit, a beacon of hope shining bright on the west coast of Africa. And that's something worth celebrating.